Hey guys, thank you for watching the Slat Rock channel. You know, right now WWE is filled with good tag teams, including The New Day, the Lucha Dragons, the Vaudevillains, the Usos, Enzo and Cass, and of course, the most successful tag team of all time, the Dudley Boys. WWE has also seen plenty of unusual tag teams that were just thrown together and went on to achieve surprising levels of success. Here are 20 unusual tag team champions. Number 1, Miz and The Big Show. Show Miz, as they were called, were put together by Raw guest host Jon Heder after Big Show came to the aid of then United States Champion The Miz. They were put together to face DX and feuded with Triple H and Shawn Michaels for a few months. They won the championship on the February 8th, 2010 episode of Raw, beating DX and the Straight Edge Society in an elimination triple threat for the titles. Their reign lasted until the April 26th episode of Raw, 78 days later, when Miz tapped out to the sharpshooter of the Hart Dynasty. Big Show cemented the breakup by punching Miz in the face for one of his many face turns. Their reign didn't last too long, but they had the honor of defending their tag belts at the grandest stage of them all, Wrestlemania 26. Number 2, Big Show and Y2J. Big Show is a multiple-time tag team champion and he's had a lot of partners. As well as pairing up with The Miz for Show Miz, he also teamed with Y2J Chris Jericho to form Jericho. Who the hell comes up with these names? The pair came together after Edge, Jericho's actual partner at the time, was injured. Jericho had a stipulation put in his contract that if Edge was unable to wrestle, he would be able to choose a new partner. He revealed Big Show as his partner on July 26, 2009 at Night of Champions. That same night, the pair fought Legacy and defeated them to unify the WWE Tag Team Championships and the WWE World Tag Team Championships. The breakup began in a triple threat match against The Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jericho turned on each other and neither man won. Their 140-day reign would come to an end on December 13, 2009 at the TLC pay-per-view. Their split-up was cemented when they were drafted to different brands, though they did come back together on 2 separate occasions, once on the September 5th episode of SmackDown 4 years later, and then again most recently on the January 28, 2016 episode of SmackDown. Number 3, Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Triple H and Stone Cold had a heated rivalry throughout the years before coming together to form the two-man power trip after WrestleMania 17. Triple H interfered in a cage match between Stone Cold and The Rock and aligned himself with Stone Cold in an effort to prove his worth to Vince McMahon, who had recently abandoned him in favor of Austin. They won the gold in a winner-takes-all match against the Brothers of Destruction. Their reign came to an abrupt halt when Triple H legitimately tore his quad in a match defending their titles against Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. The match took place on May 21, 2001, 23 days later during an episode of Raw. The match has become famous as Triple H toughed it out and finished the match with a torn quad. The injury would keep Triple H out of action for 8 months, far longer than the 23-day title reign he had. Number 4, Undertaker and The Rock. The Undertaker and The Rock had an on and off relationship while Rocky was part of the WWE. They fought with and against each other on numerous occasions and even managed to capture the WWF Tag Team Championship on the December 18, 2000 episode of Raw. They defeated champions Edge and Christian and then unceremoniously lost the belt the next night at the SmackDown taping. Commissioner Mick Foley gave them the title match to spite Edge and Christian after they demanded respect because he was belittling them. With a reign that long, there was no chance of them doing anything exciting with the belts, and it looks like they were given the titles as one of the many twists and surprises of the Attitude Era. Remember folks, anything can happen in WWE. Number 5, William Regal and Eugene. Whether you loved or hated the gimmick, everyone remembers Eugene. Eugene, the mentally challenged nephew of then Raw General Manager Eric Bischoff, was placed in the care of Regal. Initially dismayed at having to babysit Eugene, Regal eventually grew fond of him and they became friends, becoming a fan favorite in the process. Regal was ordered by Bischoff to make Eugene lose so that he would be discouraged into leaving WWE, but his friendship with Eugene caused him to try only half-heartedly to cost him his match with Rob Conway. Despite this, Bischoff put Regal back on the active roster. Regal later teamed with Eugene and won the World Tag Team Championship from La Resistance on November 15, 2004 episode of Raw. The reign would continue until the New Year's Revolution pay-per-view when Eugene was legitimately injured and had to leave the company to have surgery. Regal would go on to lose the championship not long after, with Jonathan Coachman serving as a substitute. Number 6, The Rock and Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho and The Rock couldn't keep their hands off of each other in 2001. Things got weird for the pair near the end of the year. The pair fought at no mercy, with The Rock losing his WCW championship to Jericho. The next night on Raw, the pair were put together for whatever reason and defeated WWF Tag Team Champions the Dudley Boys to secure the gold. Their reign lasted all of 7 days, and they dropped the title on October 30, 2001 to Booker T and Test. This was just one of the many times feuding superstars were put together only to implode on each other and lose the titles because they couldn't get along. Number 7, CM Punk and Kofi Kingston. CM Punk and Kofi Kingston came together after Kingston saved Punk from a backstage beatdown at Unforgiven in 2008. They were paired together a few times and captured the WWE World Tag Team Championship on the October 27th episode of Raw that year. Their reign lasted less than 2 months and ended in surprising fashion when the titles were actually changed on a house show. While almost every match at a house show is a title match, the title only changes hands about 1% of the time. They lost to John Morrison and The Miz. No one is quite sure why the 47-day reign was ended so abruptly. Once in a while, the WWE likes to do something completely unexpected, and this just appears to be one of those times. Number 8, Kane and the Hurricane. Stand back! There was a hurricane coming through. Make that a hurricane. Kane and Gregory Hurricane Helms enjoyed a very short partnership in late 2002. They were put together after Hurricane was drafted to Raw and earned the Tag Team Championships on Raw on September 23rd after defeating Chris Jericho and Christian. Their reign was uneventful as the pair were defeated less than a month later in their first bout as a team no less, by former champions Chris Jericho and Christian. Number 9, John Cena and Batista. In another example of WWE loving to put superstars together just because they can, John Cena and Batista became tag team champions on the August 4th episode of Raw in 2008. The reign lasted just a week, and former champions Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase took back the gold. The team were put together to build up their upcoming match. WWE has a tendency to put feuding superstars in tag matches, either with each other or against each other. Number 10, Batista and Rey Mysterio. Batista won the titles with people besides John Cena. Batista saved Rey Mysterio from a beatdown from Big Show and Kane, and they formed a team together. They won the tag team titles on the December 16th episode of SmackDown in 2005, a match they dedicated to Eddie Guerrero, who passed away just over a month before the match. The pair lost a non-title match at Armageddon 2 days later to Eminem, who then won the titles back 2 weeks later on SmackDown. In a rare occurrence for WWE, the team would stay together for a little longer until Batista was legitimately injured following a World's Strongest Slam from the World's Strongest Man Mark Henry. Number 11, Hulk Hogan and Edge. Edge has cited Hogan as one of his heroes growing up many times, so no doubt to team with the Hulkster was a dream come true. The pair were put together shortly after Edge injured his arm in 2002. They won the gold on July 4th, 2002 in a match against Billy and Chuck. They would hold the titles for almost 3 weeks before dropping them 18 days later, losing to the Un-Americans, Lance Storm and Christian at Vengeance. Number 12, Daniel Bryan and Kane. Team Hell No started out as bitter rivals. They fought for a few months until they were put in group therapy by then general manager AJ Lee in 2012. The two would then team up for their therapy and be forced to hug it out rather than fight. They won the title at Night of Champions 2012 on September 16th after defeating Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. Their reign was entertaining and proved that both men could make anything they were put into work. They even retained their titles at Wrestlemania 29. Their 245-day reign came to an end on May 19th, 2013 at Extreme Rules after being defeated by The Shield. They stayed together for a little longer before returning to their singles feud. Number 13, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels briefly paired up and won the tag team titles on May 26, 1997. They wouldn't hold the titles for very long, however. Shawn was injured and would have to vacate his half of the championship on July 14th. A tournament was put together to crown the number one contender that very same night, and Owen Hart and the British Bulldog, the team they won them from, faced Austin on his own, and that brings us to this next tag team. Number 14, Stone Cold and Dude Love. During the match between Stone Cold and the team of Owen and the British Bulldog, Dude Love ran in to save the day. Dude Love helped Austin win and became a tag team champion for what counted as a second reign for Stone Cold. This title run would also be ended by injury. This time it was Austin who was injured. The pair vacated the titles after Austin suffered a legitimate neck injury following a botched piledriver from Owen Hart. This happened at SummerSlam 1997, meaning their title reign lasted just 21 days. Number 15, Shawn Michaels and John Cena. On the Raw after the Royal Rumble in 2007, John Cena and Shawn Michaels were put together and thrown at then-champions rated RKO, Randy Orton and Edge. The pair managed to win the title before returning to their singles feud. They would hold the titles until April 2nd. The pair were put in a 10-man tag team battle royal for the championship, and Michaels turned on Cena, tossing him over the top rope and eliminating their team. Their reign lasted for 33 days. Number 16, The Rock and Mankind. The Rock and Sock Connection were formed on August 30, 1999. Leading up to that, The Rock and Mick Foley had been bitter rivals. They came together when The Rock was double-teamed by Big Show and Undertaker, who were the champions at the time. Mick wanted to help out because he was insane, and the suicide mission of taking on the two big men appealed to him. They would win the championships that very same night after hitting a double people's elbow on Big Show. Their first reign came to an end in a Buried Alive match on September 7, 1999, just a week later. They lost after Triple H interfered in the match. The pair would go on to capture the gold 2 more times and reunite sporadically. Number 17, Road Warrior Animal and Heidenreich. Road Warrior Animal and Heidenreich came together in 2005 during one of Road Warrior Animal's returns to the company. They won the gold on July 24, 2005 at the Great American Bash in a match dedicated to the honor of Road Warrior Hawk. Heidenreich would change his appearance and adopt the look of the Road Warriors following the win. He was made an official member of the Legion of Doom on August 18, 2005, and even given his own Road Warrior spikes. They lost the titles 97 days later on the October 28, 2005 edition of SmackDown in a fatal 4-way tag match won by M&M. Heidenreich was released from the company a few months later, with Animal released a few months after that. Number 18, John Cena and David Otunga. During the feud between John Cena and the Nexus, Cena was forced to join Nexus after losing a match against Wade Barrett at Hell in a Cell. On October 24, 2010, Cena and Otunga teamed together to win the WWE Tag Team Championships from then-champions Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Their reign lasted less than 24 hours as they lost them to fellow Nexus members Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater following orders from Wade Barrett. The reign may not have been much, but it did lead to the dissolution of the Nexus as Otunga, angered by this decision, began to rebel and the group broke apart. Number 19, Rico and Charlie Haas. Charlie Haas's most well-known partner is Shelton Benjamin, but Haas has been a tag team champion with people besides Benjamin. He formed a tag team with Rico shortly after Benjamin was drafted to Raw in 2004. Haas turned face and teamed up with Rico and Miss Jackie. They won the titles on April 22, 2004. Their reign came to an end 47 days later at the hands of the Dudley Boys. The team split up shortly after as Haas became a singles wrestler, keeping Miss Jackie as a manager. Number 20, RVD and Rey Mysterio. The whole effing show and Rey Mysterio teamed up a few times before they captured the gold from Rene Dupree and Kenzo Suzuki on the December 9th episode of SmackDown. They held the championships for just over a month as Van Dam would suffer a legitimate injury. He dropped the titles to the Basham brothers on the way out. The reign ended on January 13th on SmackDown, just 36 days later. So what do you guys think? Any odd pairings that we may have missed? Leave us a comment below, let us know. Don't forget you can hit that subscribe button and get more videos just like this one. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And, as always, thanks for watching.